Hi guys. Yeah, it's 2:30, and it's absolutely bucketing down in London, as you can see. Lovely, typical London weather. Yeah, so as you guys are probably aware, I tried to contact my son today via his mother's phone. I literally just sent a couple of words saying that I miss my boy and I would really like to speak to him at some point. The response was initially that she was not obliged to allow me to speak to my son. Obviously, most responsible parents would not think on those levels and would want their young children to speak to their parents. I think most of you guys that have been following can make up your own assumptions on what kind of person would stop a child, a young boy as well, an impressionable young boy, speaking to his father, who he does have such a good relationship with. Nevertheless, she said no, so that there is obviously her decision. I can not imagine that she could ever justify that decision being made to my son. So she said that she was going to speak to a solicitor to get legal advice about apparently my harassing nature. Now I just want to get this 100%, with everybody that has been following. I only message my son's mum regarding my son and his welfare. Since he's been in Wales, the fact that I do message means that there has to be a response, and since he's been there, the response can be anything from 2 to 6 hours. So as a concerned father, I may message once, twice in that time. Purposely, I think I'm being ignored, so I do send the messages, and then my response is immediately that I'm being harassing. So I think we can all kind of see what kind of game is being played here. More my concern for my son is just literally being manipulated to pretty much formulate someone who's harassing or someone who's pestering. Now, for me, it's one of those things where, I would never think about doing that. When I had my son for 6 weeks, I sent his mother daily snapshots, pictures of him pretty much every day. I gave her daily updates. Well, I actually asked her if she wanted updates on his nursery. She didn't want updates. Inside that 6 weeks, she came down to see him just once, and I was always fair. Even though we didn't get on, she would be able to Skype every day. Since Maxwell's been there, I've been able to Skype him maybe 3 times in 5 weeks, and I've spoken to him less than what I've ever spoken to him before. So, the actions do speak louder than words. My response today was that I have done nothing but harass and stress her life, which is obviously not true. It's incorrect. I wouldn't stress her life out because she's my son's mum and our relationship has ceased. But as a distant father, I do want to be able to have contact with him. So ultimately, that has been kind of used against me. And I've also been informed that legal proceedings will be taken against me shortly. I know that what I'm doing here is not a bad thing. It's not a negative thing. I'm not here to slate people, but what I am here to do is document how life is for me and my son at a long distance. And unfortunately, there are a few obstacles, and those obstacles come from an individual. So obviously it will be documented. I'm not in the business of slating people or spreading rumours or anything like that. I'm not that kind of person, and furthermore, that's my son's mother, and I would never do that. But what I'm not going to do is I'm not going to defend someone's actions. I'm not going to hide those. If I am being restricted, then I'm going to say it. I haven't lied on anything that I've blogged so far. So if anybody's watching, rather than, you know, make your speculations, feel free to ask, and you will have the truth. You will have my truth, and that should settle any, you know, thoughts that you may have on why I'm doing this, or, you know, what's going on here. So it appears that obviously the legal proceedings are going to be taken against me. She is an angry person. She's quite a bitter person, and I really hope that at some point that she'll be able to have a little bit more love and concern over our child. And the fact that before we did split up as a family, I was there in his life every single day, and I've been a responsible father. I'm more than capable of having my son. I've proved that. I've been a single working parent in the past, and as much as it was a challenge, not once did I ever feel that I had to doubt what I was doing. It is a bit tragic. I do get a lot of messages from women asking, you know, why their fathers aren't involved, and, you know, it does kind of make me feel quite sad that there are, you know, that many guys that don't see their children. Realistically, there's always a reason why, and a lot of the time the reason comes from the relationship, but, you know, this is a typical example of exactly why you need to get past what happens in your relationship and look at the person as a father, and make your decision from them being a father and their capabilities and the example that they set to their children. I'm not a bad person. I'm not perfect either. I'm a human being, and I have made my mistakes. I've made many mistakes, and every day I learn from the mistakes I do make. I don't go through life not remembering the things that I have done that I'm not proud of. It only helps me to learn and to not make those mistakes again. But one thing is for sure, you take that all away, is that I do love my boy. I love him more than life. I love him more than anything in the world. If I had to drop everything today, I would do for him. And that will never change. I know that it appears that, let's just say, powers that be are trying to change that. They're trying to, I would only say, not prevent me from seeing my son, but make my relationship with my son to maintain as difficult as possible. And that's kind of the path that's set out for me. So I will say, if any of you guys are out there and you're warring with your baby father and you're warring with your baby mother, someone has to be the bigger person. Someone has to be able to rise up and rise above all the nonsense and say, hold on, there are children here. There is a child in the middle, and they didn't ask for us to kind of be like this. They want us to get on. They don't want us to war. They want to see us happy. They want to make sure that they can have both mother and father at least at the other end of the phone. If you guys can't see past that today, if you've woken up this morning and you're feeling that today, I can't be bothered, I hate that person, they don't deserve this, they don't deserve that, put all that aside and think about what your kids deserve. Your kids deserve to have two parents, and no one parent should allow themselves to have a say in whether they have two parents unless that the other parent is dead, unless the parent is a severe cause of pure negativity in their lives. Then you can make that decision. as we love our children, we would hate to be put in that situation where we even have to think about that or entertain those kind of ideas. So, you know, my situation is not unique. My situation happens more often than not. As a father, a father that's capable of looking after his child, I do believe that I should have more rights. I do believe that I should be able to have more of a say in the arrangements, and the final word shouldn't be with just the mother. If you're both on the birth certificate and if you've both shown that you've been able to look after the child, there shouldn't be an issue. But it appears that as fathers, if you work and you're quite capable, you only qualify for being able to pay child maintenance, which is a massive disservice to a lot of us fathers that put in that work with our children, that raise our children just as much as the mothers that have been there from birth, that are on the birth certificate. But as it stands today, it's not the case. One day it will change. I think there are a lot more fathers that are taking a lot of responsibility for their children, and realising that, you know, kids do need both parents, and having both parents when they're around and when they're younger will raise and grow a balanced child and give them a childhood that they pretty much deserve. My message to my boy, Sonny Bum, 4 days and I'm coming to see you. I've got a few things prepared for you. I've got new paints for you, and we are going to do a lot of running around on Saturday. We have a lot of things to do. You probably wouldn't even realise, but we are trying to sort out your birthday in a couple of weeks, mate. I miss you more than anything, and I'm staying strong for you. I'm not allowing the negative to affect me. It hasn't in a long time, and I'm not about to let it start now. I've got a lot of support behind me. Your dad loves you. Your dad is fighting for you only. And I will always fight for you. As long as there's air in my lungs and my heart is pumping, I'm there, and I'll always be there for you, boy. So I know that we haven't spoken, and I know that you probably do think about me. Believe me, mate, I want to see you. I want to hear your voice. Unfortunately, we can't now. But that does not mean I'm not going to see you again. No matter what, I'm still your father. I'm still loving you. I'm still putting money in your account. And I'm going to continue to do everything that I do as your dad, which is the standard to raise you the best I can. I'll never turn my back on you, boy. And just because there are things in the way, that's not going to stop me. Okay, mate? I love you very much, boy, and I'll see you soon. Alright, love the unstoppable force. Keep it good, keep it positive, and keep the love there, yeah? Peace.